Hey everybody, it's Karen with Food and Family. I'm starting dinner and I thought I'd bring you along. We're going to call this Uncut. Okay, I've got some turnip greens that I did start earlier because they do take a little while to cook, but they're going to be so good. I've got to make some tea. So in my little pot here, I've got 4 of these family-sized tea bags, and you can use 3 or 4. And to me, they're a little on the small side, so I use 4. If it's the bigger ones, I use 3. So I'm going to put some sugar. I like to put sugar, go ahead and put it in my water while I'm boiling my tea, and that way I know it gets all dissolved. And I'm putting, this is like a 1/2 cup scoop. I got that so many years ago, I can't tell you how long I've had it. And I put like 1 and almost, not quite 2 of those. So like 3/4 cup. So let me move this sugar. We don't need it anymore. Y'all gonna see me walking around and moving around today. So I'm gonna get some water in my pot and we're gonna get it back here on the stove to boil. Y'all, I have been wanting this supper and I decided today was the day to cook it. It's kind of a dreary day. We're expecting some storms tonight, so they're not supposed to be here until later on tonight, but we hope they'll just go on away. But if they don't, we're ready for them. Pop's been a little under the weather. He went to the doctor. They said he tested negative for the flu, but they want to treat him as if he has the flu. So he's resting right now. Miss Patchy's taking her nap. So I thought I'd get in here and cook while I had a chance. But I want to do some deviled eggs also. And y'all see I've got my little egg cooker right here. I just love my little egg cooker. That's in my Amazon store. I think the brand is Dash. Y'all don't quote me on it. I had 2 or 3 of them in there. Just me and Pop, I'm only going to do 3 eggs. And we won't eat all of those, I promise you. Turn it on and it's going to beep at me when they're done. Can't get any easier than that. And I think I'm done with eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and put them back in the refrigerator. Okay. We're going to have supper done, late lunch, early dinner, real quick. It's not going to take us long at all. I do want to make a dish that I've never made, y'all. So I've got the recipe. I have been seeing onion casserole, Vidalia onion casserole, going around on the internet. I don't have any Vidalia onions, but everything I've read said you use whatever you have. And y'all know me. I tell you all the time, don't go out, buy special ingredients. Use what you have. I'm kind of adapting this recipe though, because I want to make it like I want it, but it's a guideline for me. So I've got to cut up some onions, and this is going to take the longest to cook, I think. My oven is set on 350. I've got a 9x13 pan that I have sprayed with some nonstick cooking spray because I want to be able to get the casserole out when we're ready to eat. And I have some onions here that, look here, this one's already sprouting. You think it's getting confused? It's this time of year, y'all. We have had another one starting to sprout. They'll be okay. We have had some of the nicest warm days, and we could get out. I have enjoyed my patio, my deck, and sit out in the evening. Pop a couple of times lit the fire pit for us in the evening, and we just sit out there, and he drinks his coffee. And yeah, I can't drink coffee in the evenings. Can y'all? It keeps me awake. And when I'm ready to go to bed, I want to go to bed and go to sleep. I don't want to lay in there awake. So I should have already had some of this done, but you know what? That's okay. Okay, so get my, y'all know I keep a trash bag, like the store bags, and to put my onions when I peel them, or my potato peels in, and that way I can just pick it up and throw it away. So, but I want to make sure I get all of that off of my board. I don't want it, while I'm at it, to get it off my countertop. I don't want it in my dish. Okay, so let's cut these onions. And I'm going to slice it. And they tell me to slice them, well, they don't tell me. Anyway, we're going to slice them up the way we want to slice them. Now, I am going to go ahead and cut mine in half. And y'all know I take that outer layer off. My granny taught me that. And I don't have to run them under the water to wash them. And that way they don't get soggy with water. So, my granny taught me a lot of things. Yeah, that was a wise woman. But so did my mama. I don't remember either one of them making a dish like this. In fact, I've never made one. But I wanted to try it. Tell me if you've ever made one and how you do yours. And, you know, I'm thinking that 9 by 13 pan might be a little too big. We may, my eyes are burning. We may just change that to a smaller pan, smaller dish. Papa and I can't eat that much anyway. And I don't know if the neighbors are at home. I usually farm out food to them. Yeah, but they like it. They like it. And that way, as dishes they don't have to cook. And they enjoy it as well. All right, so let's get these sliced up. Y'all, these are burning my eyes. I've tried everything, but I'm talking and I'm breathing through my nose, and I should be breathing through my mouth. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Cut them under cold water, sharp knife. I do have a very sharp knife here. Y'all like Rada Knives? I do. Oh my gosh. My mama had them when we were growing up. So y'all can find the link to my Rada store in the description box under this video. If you don't have any, you need to get some. Okay, so let's move that. I don't know if you can see how that egg cooker is boiling away. Let me rinse my hands a little bit, y'all. I want to get some of that onion peels off of them. I got some that stuck to them. Now. All right. So what does it tell us to do next? To grease our pan. And we've got to cook these just a little bit. So you know what we're going to cook them in? We're going to cook some cube steak. And we're just going to cook it in the same pan. We're not going to mess up any more than we have to. But we want to get these good and tender. So, okay. So while that onion, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, what is with me today? Looks like I've got the dropsies. We're going to put a little bit of butter. How much butter? It tells us use 1/4 cup. That's about 1/4 cup. Because 1 full stick is a 1/2 cup, right? So while that's melting, we're going to cut up our onions. We're just going to slice them. I don't want them too thin because I don't want them to cook away. And I'm going for probably not quite 1/4 inch. But we're just going to go ahead and throw them over in there. It'll be okay. That butter's melting. And it won't take long to soften these up. We just want to get them a little bit soft and tender. And you know what? Cooking them in butter don't ever hurt it, does it? So how have you guys been? I know I've been absent for a few days. And like I said, Pop's been under the weather. You know, I had to go for an MRI a couple of days ago on my back. And because my hip is still hurting. But everything on my hip, x-rays, everything comes back looking real good. So he's checking to see if there's any other issues. But we think we might have sciatica. I don't want that. Right now he's got me in a back brace. And but you know what? It helps me when I'm standing up for a long time, like cooking dinner. It really does help. So have any of you ever had that issue? I know when I feel it, it don't feel good. It's kind of miserable. Anyway, enough about that. And, ooh, these onions are smelling good. Oh, they smell good. Careful with the fingers. Now, I don't want to lose any today. So let me wash my hand. And I'm going to wash off my knife. Y'all, stay busy when you're in the kitchen. If you got a second, you can wash something, wash it. I keep hot soapy water. I tell y'all that all the time. And so that way I can just, excuse me a second, my nose is itching and my eyes are burning. That way I can just turn around and wash something like I just did my knife. Now see, it's done. Okay, am I supposed to salt these onions? It don't tell me to. Okay, oh, we're gonna mix it all up right here in this pan. That's gonna be easy, y'all. They want to get away. We're not gonna let them know, are we? I don't want to brown my onions. I just want to get them tender. So, I'm not looking to brown them. But while that's going, and we're going to keep an eye on that, I want to peel up some potatoes. My tea is boiling, so I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to let it sit there and steep. And we're going to get all that goodness out of there. That smells so good. I wonder how a little garlic would do in there, y'all. I don't know. I'm changing up the recipe enough that maybe I shouldn't try to add too many different things, right? But you know what? I've told y'all before. I take a recipe. Usually, I follow it exactly by the recipe the first time, and then I change it up. I'm changing a little bit today. I've just been looking at recipes and videos, and I decided that's what I like. So let's peel some potatoes. Y'all know it don't take long, and my knife is very sharp, and I could use the potato peeler, but I'm so used to peeling them with my hand like this. And that's how I grew up. That's how my mama and my granny did it. And my granny could peel a potato, and you would never see anything but the peeling. And she used to tell me, you're peeling that potato away. So I try to think about that. Get that little dark spot off of there. I try to think about that when I'm peeling potatoes. I think about her. And don't peel it away. But if you're not used to this, use a potato peeler. And like I said, I have always done this. So it's safety first. Yeah, that potato's, you got a little bruising on it. I cut that off. I don't cook it. Now, I'm throwing them over here in my pot. But I'm going to go rinse them. And so I keep my potatoes. I had my good friend Kim. Y'all know, y'all have heard me talk about Kim. You hadn't met her. But I've been trying to talk her into coming down here and doing video with me. But she won't do it. She's kind of like McCalla. She'll do everything from afar. She edits and does a lot with my cookbooks. So, but anyway, she works for one of the county extension offices. And we were talking one day, and I don't know why it came up, but she told me I have a basket that I put my potatoes and onions in. She says, keep them separate. She said, your onions will make your potatoes go bad, or potatoes make the onions go bad. I can't remember which. Do y'all know which way it is? But anyway, I started separating them. I got a basket and put my potatoes in and put my onions in another basket. And on the shelves I keep them on, I separated. I put one on one end and I put one on the other end, so they're not next to each other. And I also heard someone else that I like to watch on YouTube say the same thing, and she's a big homesteader. And she said the same thing. I'm going to cut one more potato up, y'all. We're making mashed potatoes. Y'all have seen me make them so many times. We just love mashed potatoes. I do. But one of the biggest things is leftovers. Pop gets potato patties, and y'all have seen me make those before. And if you haven't, there's some videos out there with me making them. Okay, my eggs just finished. So we're going to set these potatoes aside. Let me move them out of the way, y'all. I hate crowding up my countertops when I'm cooking. Okay, so let me get a bowl. These potatoes can wait. I want to get a bowl, and you know what? While I'm doing this, I'm going to let some cold water run over these potatoes, and it can be washing them, right? What did I tell you? Keep moving, didn't I? So let's unplug it, and they're hot. So I want to take a spoon and move them into this bowl. And what I'm going to do is go right here to my refrigerator, and I'm going to get some ice and put some ice over them. And then I'm going to run some water, and we're going to let them cool off for a couple of minutes. Then we're going to make some, I've always called them deviled eggs. I hear people calling them angel eggs. We just know they're delicious, right? Okay, so that's done. And I'm going to put this over here so we can wash it. And I'm going to get my potatoes. I dropped some onion peelings in the floor. Long way down there. Oh my goodness, y'all. Yeah, we had some really pretty days, warm days, on up in the 70s, and it started confusing everything. And now our weather's going to get cold again. And I know it always happens. I said I was ready for winter, and I was. I had my winter, and now I'm ready for it to go home and let my spring come back. Okay, so y'all know when I'm cutting up these potatoes, and be careful if you're not used to doing this, please do it on your board. But I cut them kind of small. That way, it don't take as long to cook them. There's more surface area, I guess. And anyway, so just be careful doing it. Oh, you can smell these onions. Can y'all hear them cooking? That's a beautiful sound to me. When we get that done, get that in the oven. We want to get away. We're going to make some cube steak. And we're going to have some onions and gravy with it. Yep, we're going to have more onions. And but you can't have cube steak and gravy without some onions in it. Now, good. I'm going to put some water over this. And I start mine in hot water, not hot water, cold water. And I have always been taught you start them in cold water, because if you start them in hot water, the outside will cook before the inside. And I've had a couple of people tell me that that's not true. I don't know whether it is or not, but that's what I do. Okay, so I'm going to get them on the stove. And I want to put a little salt in it. I'm going to move my tea right here because we're fixing to pour up our tea. Let me put a little salt on our potatoes. If I can find, what did I do with it? Here it is. Yeah. And I tell y'all, do not salt your water. It pits your pot, but I've got food in here, so it's going to be okay. Put the lid on, but not tight. You want to kind of cock that lid a little bit because potatoes are starchy and they will boil over, trust me. And we don't want to clean up a mess on the stove. When we get ready to clean up, our final cleanup, I want to be able to just wipe it down and go. Okay, so that's done. Here's my tea jug. I had somebody ask me, how much water do I put in it? I don't know. Y'all, I don't measure the water. I've just got it here. That may be, I don't know, 4 cups. And 3 or 4 cups, and then I just fill up my pot here. So, and we'll probably add more water. But I've got 1 spoon, long handle spoon, that's dedicated to tea. You see how stained it is. And we're just going to pour it in. Look at there. But I don't want you throwing these tea bags away just yet. We're going to run some cold water over them, cold water. Because y'all, there's still goodie left in those tea bags. You don't want to throw it away. And all that sugar melted. And I don't have to worry about it. It's not in the bottom of my pot. It's not in the bottom of my tea jug. And I don't know if you could see that when I poured that out, how much was left in it. I like to stir it around. Now, I'm going to throw these tea bags away. They serve their purpose. And I'm going to put this in the sink. Pick up what I dropped. And we're done. The tea is made. And Pop will be a happy man because he loves sweet tea. And you know what I do? I sit it down here on the end of the counter. So when we're ready to eat, the tea is cooled off a little bit. Okay, so let's get back to these onions. And you know what? I think I'm about ready to call these done. And So it tells me just to cook until they're tender. And I think they are. But you know what? Let's let them cook a couple more minutes. Let's do some eggs first. And then we'll give them a chance to cook a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do, this is how I do it. I am just going to break them. So you let them sit there in that cool water for just a few minutes, and that peeling comes right off. Looky there. That's a beautiful egg. Oops. We don't want to drop it, do we? Now, eggs have gotten high, haven't they? And we were told, we were in the grocery store one night, 3 or 4 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago now, and there were no eggs. The shelf was literally bare. So Pop asked the store manager, he happened to be in that area, about it, and he said that they're not getting the supply like they used to, and the reason being was bird flu. Now, did y'all know that? And I didn't. So now, when I'm in the store and I don't want to be a hoarder, and I'm not, I go ahead and buy some eggs if they've got them, so I don't run out. Okay, so in this same bowl, y'all heard me, I just rinsed it out. No sense in messing up too much. I've got my mayonnaise out, but I need a little bit of mustard. I don't know what that was. We'll check it out in a minute, won't we? And I need my knife. I washed it. So let's cut these eggs in half. Let's get a little spoon. Let's get, I like to put pickle relish in mine, and y'all, we use dill. You can use sweet. It's up to you. Looky there, and I want to show you how beautiful the inside of that egg comes out. Looky there. And they're not gray, green on the inside. They come out like they're supposed to. That egg cooker was the best thing. Pop got that for me. Y'all, I don't know when. It's probably been about 3 years now. He got it for me for Christmas. And that was the best thing he could have got. Parker, y'all know Parker, our youngest grandson, he was over here. And we used it to, y'all, I tore that egg white, but that's okay. We'll glue it back together with good stuff. He liked it so much, I ordered him one and had it sent to his house. And his mama said he went through a dozen eggs in just a couple of days. He was cooking them. He liked that. So if I find out they like something or want it, I try to get it for them. And this bowl's a little big, but that's okay. Let's just smash these eggs up. You can do it with a fork if you want to. I'm just going to use the back of my spoon, but I'm going to need another spoon. So my goodness, we love deviled eggs. Mayonnaise. I don't like them gloopy, so I'm going to kind of leave that mayonnaise like there in case I decide I need some more. And I don't like the water that comes out of the mustard bottle. Do y'all? I always shake it up, shake it down. Come on, open up. Nothing's wanting to cooperate with me today. Just a little squirt of mustard. Get another spoon. I'm dirtying up a lot of dishes, aren't I? I want some dill relish in here. Not a whole lot. About that much. My mama would call that a teaspoon. And let's just stir it up. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in it. I don't put pepper in mine. Do y'all put pepper in yours? It'd be good. Just a little bit. And I got a little more mayonnaise than I wanted, but it'll be all right. So now, all we're going to do is we're going to spoon this. Now, if you're having a party or you have guests, you can put this in a piping bag. If you don't have a piping bag, cut the tip off of the corner off of a zippy top bag and use it. Or if you've got some tips, you can put the tip down in there and swirl this in there. But we're just going to spoon it in there today. Looky there. That's going to be some good eggs. And Pop likes these. Y'all hear me talk about what he likes so much. I love cooking for him. And I love cooking for my family anyway. Okay, here's the torn one. See where he's tore on the end? Well, I made a mess. That's okay, because you know what we're going to do? We're going to put that in there, and we're going to pinch it right back together. And it's glued together, y'all. Okay, we'll clean that up. So we'll take the rest of this, and we're just going to go around. I hate I got more mayonnaise than I wanted. I said I didn't like them gloopy. It happens sometimes, y'all. It's called cooking. This is real life. And real life cooking. The cook gets to taste it, right? Okay. So let's wipe up our mess. Now, I'm going to set these in the refrigerator in the meantime. Y'all don't let me forget them when I start pulling out dinner. Okay? Okay, so let's wipe up our mess. See, that dish is done. Okay. Hey, Papa, you feeling okay?
Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Okay. Come say hi to everybody. I told them that you were a little bit under the weather. Yep. So, he's been staying away from me because he don't want to give it to me. So, he don't get too close, but he's out here.
I'm getting better.
He is. He's a lot better today. So, I think by tomorrow, he's going to be good. Don't you think?
I do. What you cooking?
I am, right now, I just put some deviled eggs in the refrigerator. I made us some tea. I've got turnip greens going on the stove. I've got potatoes for mashed potatoes on the stove. And you know what leftovers mean?
That's right.
And
potato patties.
Yes. So, but we're making an onion casserole. I've not made this before. And so I'm kind of trying it out. So it says turn off the heat. So let's turn off the heat. Let's move it. Oh, y'all, I am making so much noise today. Y'all have to forgive me. And I'm going to stir up my turnip greens while I'm back here. I don't want to let too much of that pot liquor escape. That's what's good. We're going to put it over some cornbread. Okay, so we've got our onions all cooked. Can y'all see how tender they are? Oh, doesn't that look good? You could let these keep going. And in my cookbook, there's a recipe for caramelized onion dip. And just let them keep going. And just on their own, they're a good side dish if you're having a steak or pork chops even. Okay, so to these onions, now I've got to read my recipe. We're going to add a 1/4 cup. It calls for margarine. Y'all, I'll tell you how old this is. We don't use margarine here. We use butter. So that's a 1/2 stick. And y'all know this is so hot. It's going to melt in no time. So there we go. 1/4 cup of butter. a 1/4 cup of sour cream. Y'all moving my stuff around, aren't you? 1/4 cup of sour cream. Let's get another spatula. And we're going to scoop out a 1/4 cup. You know, you've already started butter, sour cream, and we're going to have some mayonnaise in here too. Doesn't that sound good?
It does.
That sounds good. You get all that going together. And I told y'all a story. This one don't have mayonnaise. You know, it won't hurt to put a little bit in there, though, will it? We've still got our mayonnaise spoon out.
It'll still be good with
Well, let's put a big glump in there. That's probably a tablespoon. And we're going to put that in there. Now, all that stuff is ready to go in the refrigerator. So let's stir this around. We want some cheese. That's fresh tea. I told them, you like tea, you like my sweet tea.
I do.
Tell me if I got enough sugar in it.
Yes.
He's not drinking stuff real sweet. He drinks sugar in his coffee, but he has started cutting that out. And he'll put just a tiny bit in his first cup of coffee, and then after that, he goes without sugar. So we do eat and drink healthy around here, don't we? So we need some cheese. And I want a 1/4 cup of parmesan cheese. And I dirtied up my 1/4 cup, but we're just going to guesstimate. That looks like a 1/4 cup.
Sorry, I can't help you.
You are good. You are good. You are good. And I'm putting that stuff down there to put in the refrigerator. And we're going to put 1/2 of a cup of this cheddar cheese. And I have mild cheddar cheese. You can grate your own. Y'all know I like to use this especially when I have it. That's a little over 1/2 cup. But come on, it's cheese. We're going to stir it up.
Pot.
Huh?
That's a good looking pot.
Isn't it though?
Show it to me before you stir it up.
Looky there. We're going to move some of these dirty stuff. Yeah. I beg y'all, please, like your wooden spoons and your sharp knives, please don't put them in the dishwasher. I don't put wooden stuff in my dishwasher. It gets, I feel like, and I've read, that water gets soaked in that wood, and it's just not good. Okay. Oh, looky here. Yeah, I think it needs a little bit more cheese. I'm going to put a little bit more cheese.
A little more cheese.
A little bit more cheese.
That's cheesy.
I think we probably got... He's full of dad jokes. Probably all together got a cup of cheese. Or cheddar cheese. All right. My goodness gracious, y'all. Oh, you see that cheese pulling around in there. Yeah, I told you this is uncut. You're going to see me moving around and doing. Okay, so we've got our sprayed dish because we want this to come out. And I am going to, can you see this? I think you can. Ah! It wanted to swirl around on me. Can you see it? Yeah, it didn't go too far, did it? Let's get it all. Kind of heavy to hold with one hand. I've had a couple of you tell me that you got you a skillet like mine, and I hope you're enjoying it. We've got to wash that out because we're going to use it to cook our cube steak. And you know, it just spreads it out a little more. I think we could have done with a smaller dish, don't you? Yeah. We could have, but we're going to stick with this one. we're going to stick with this one. Now we're going to put some Ritz crackers on top. Normally I would say let's melt some butter and do our crackers in it, but the recipe don't call for it, so we're not going to. I make this again, I might do it. I didn't change up too much, except for adding the cheese. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now this is going to bake in the oven. Like I said, it's preheated to 350. And it tells me to bake it for 30 minutes. But I've got this spread out. So it's kind of thin. It's not real deep. If y'all make it and I'll link this video recipe in the description box. And if y'all make it, y'all judge whether you need a 9 by 13 or 8 by 8, 9 by 9. I think we could have done with an 8 by 8. But I'm going to put this in the oven. Oh my. And I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. And I'm going to check it at 20. And I might decide it needs to go 30. So, all right, I'm going to stir my potatoes while I'm back here. They're boiling, boiling. They're not ready yet. I'm going to turn them down a little bit. That eye is real hot. The one I put it on. Okay, so let's move this. Y'all, I'm going to put this stuff up in the refrigerator real quick. So, give me just a second. And let me do that. I like to put my stuff away as I go. I had a, what was that? Oh, that was my ginger. Sometimes I like ginger. Okay. See, done. Done. Y'all know what I forgot? Y'all know what I forgot to do. My Dalton would never forgive me. We've got to put some paprika on these eggs. He loves the paprika. He wouldn't eat them like this. He would wait till you and ask when are they going to get finished. Looky there. But it makes them pretty, don't it? Makes them pretty. Now we're going to put them back in the refrigerator. Now, let me rinse my hands, and I got to wash this pan off, y'all. This is something, if you keep this up as you go, clean up after dinner is so easy. To me, that is the dreaded part of cooking. And I love to cook. Not the cleanup so much. That's why I do this as I go. And then I don't have so much to clean up. See? And there's a couple of things in the sink there, but I'll get those cleaned up in a minute. Okay, so we're going to start our cubed steak. And I've got to have this. And get that in there, okay. And put some oil in our pan. And I'm going to have to go get an onion for my cubed steak, y'all. Now, I'm not deep frying this. I want just enough. Now, that coated that pan by about that much, if you can see my finger when I'm holding up. So we need our cubed steak. We need some flour. We got our salt and pepper. We want our paprika. We want some red pepper, not much. Some garlic powder and some onion powder. Those are my go-to seasonings, y'all. I was gonna move that. I'm gonna try to be able to see what I'm doing here. And I think you can. Okay, so let's move that. I just had it sitting in this pan in my refrigerator. Turn that eye on. I don't want it too high. And I'm going to put a big scoop of flour as I spread it all over the place. And if I don't throw it away, I'll use that for my gravy too. We're going to see. This is just under a pound. This is all popping I need. Now, another thing that I like to do, see how pretty that is? Another thing I like to do is pork. And you can get it, it's called beef cubed steak. Sometimes you'll see it as tenderized. You can get pork. We like the pork. And so I started to get that, but I thought, no, I wanted some beef. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of garlic. That might be 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to sprinkle some onion powder, about the same amount. Whoa, not that much. Yeah, see, that's the thing. And you can scoop out the excess. I was watching a young lady cooking the other day, and she had the same thing happen to her. I should have been using a measuring spoon instead of sprinkling it like this. Put a little bit of paprika. All right. Just the tiniest bit of red pepper, y'all. I like to know I've got something, but I don't too much. I don't do the heat. I used to, and I like it. If it's kind of on the mild side, I'm good. Okay, so let's stir that up. We need some salt and pepper because it's not salted. There wasn't much salt. I wasn't even a teaspoon. Now I use kosher salt. And on the camera, it actually looks like it's more than it actually is. So sometimes I have people get on to me about my salt, but it's not as much as you think. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. Is it hot yet? It's getting there. Oh, it's sizzling. Okay, so, wow. Okay, might have been just a tiny bit of water in there. Let's start flouring. And let's lay it in here gently. And it's starting to sizzle. That's what we want. And if it don't, your oil is not hot enough. And if your oil's not hot enough, it's just going to sit there and absorb the oil. Then you'll just have greasy cubed steak. Yeah, you can get, my mother used to buy a sirloin steak, and back then it was all cheap. Well, compared to today's standards, it was cheap. We're going to save this. And let me wash my hands. And anyway, she would tenderize that steak herself. And she didn't have all these gadgets we have now. She would use a saucer, like a salad saucer. And that's what she would use. She'd just kind of carefully beat it up. And that's how she tenderized it. But you learn how to do things. You make do. She had 5 kids and my daddy to feed. And he worked, of course. She didn't. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm washing these few little dishes while I'm back here. And that's going. I've got a minute. So, I want to get them knocked out. Now, this little pot could have gone in the dishwasher. And this brand is Sweet, C-I-W-E-T-E. And I can give you a link to this, and there's a discount code if you want to get you a set. They're all stainless steel, and they're good. You'll see me use my Calphalon the most, and you see me use this probably more than anything. I had somebody say I had such a pretty setup with my stove, and over there, why don't I cook there? I do. But when I'm cooking with y'all, I like to cook right here. I've got more room. There's a small area where my stove is. I've got a large area with my kitchen, and you can see. Can y'all see the new cabinets we put in? Let me get my finger in over here. We moved the china cabinet, the hutch, on that wall, and we put in these new cabinets here, and I'm loving it. I've got storage, and I've moved things around, and I'm getting a little happier. I love my kitchen. I always have. Turn that up a little bit, you're too low. And since we remodeled it, but I did away with storage because I had cabinets on the upper, and I did away with them. So that took away some of my storage. So now I've got this. Y'all, I want to check my potatoes while I'm back here. Again, they don't take long to cook. They're coming along. We're going to have this dinner pulled together here soon. Another couple of minutes, and you know what I'm going to do, if I can find it. I have got my iron skillet here, because I got some cornbread left over from a couple of days ago where I made some soup. And I'm going to put it in the oven. I didn't throw it away. It was too good to throw away. And I'm going to put it in the oven to heat up. You know, I've still got a little bit of oil from cooking it in originally. And we're going to put it in the oven right along with this casserole. And that casserole is looking good, but y'all, it's got 8 minutes left, and I think it's going to take the full 30 minutes. So what do we do next? We're going to wait for those potatoes, but I've got something else I want to make. And, you know, which is steak. I've got to go get me an onion, and I'll be right back. So y'all can watch it cook. And Pop, you want to talk to him a minute while I do that? I won't be, but just a minute. Tell him what you've been up to.
I can go get you an onion.
I can get it, thank you. Hey, baby girl.
I don't have a microphone on, so I get closer. You know, that takes her a long time to prepare to do one video. setting up everything, getting the food ready, getting the camera ready, and double cleaning up, which is always cleaning. And then after the video, on the one that she edits, I won't see her for hours. She'll be in there editing. So it takes a long time each time to do a video. We appreciate y'all watching. Ask you to get as many friends as you can to subscribe for us so we can keep the channel going. Y'all have a good one. She's back with her onion. Bye.
You're doing good. I've just got to cut it up and get it ready. No, I'm not. That boy's got to go away.
Yep.
I'll be back.
I'll go get it.
Okay.
Where's that?
On the shelving in there on the right side,
Okay.
you'll see it. Okay, yeah, he wasn't any good. That was, sometimes that happens. Okay, so while he's going to get that, we don't need it just this second, but I wanted to go ahead and get it. I've got some Campari tomatoes, and yeah, they're like a cherry tomato. They're sweet all year long, and they're always good. And you know, cherry tomatoes like that. Well, thank you.
That way I'm not touching it.
Yes, and y'all see always the basket I keep them in, and I've got one that I keep my potatoes in, and
Keeps them ventilated real good.
it does. And when I got back from the grocery store, I just stuck it over the whole bag over in there, and usually I take them out. But anyway, as I was saying, these are some of the most delicious tomatoes, and they stay sweet. His mother actually got me onto these because she liked these little Campari tomatoes, and she would slice her up a couple when she was having her lunch or dinner, and it was just perfect for her. So what I'm going to do, though, is set this over here because it's going to go. I don't refrigerate my tomatoes, and I hope y'all don't. But anyway, I'm going to cut them, but I'm going to quarter them. See how pretty that is inside? Can y'all see? Isn't that beautiful?
I was looking out the window at our tomato bush.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's about 12 feet tall,
How old is that
10
tomato?
feet wide. Wow.
How old is that bush now? It's actually a tree now.
It sticks way up above the house.
Mm-hmm.
It has hundreds of tomatoes on it right now.
It does. We thought the cold spell that we had, when we were having teens and 20s and close to zero at night, had killed all the blooms and the buds, but it didn't. When that cold spell went away,
Came back.
it came back really pretty. So, okay, so I just put those over in there. I've got one tiny little piece of onion left, and we're not going to let him be lonesome. We're going to slice it up, and we're going to put it in here with this tomato. And if we decide we want some more, get it in the bowl. I can cut some off of that he brought in here for us. And I keep my little bowl there aside because I might actually, if I have some more onions, put it in there. And I think that's enough onions. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper, not much. A little salt, a little pepper, and see this zesty Italian dressing? I'm going to pour some of this over it. Not much, just a little bit. I don't want it drowned. I just want the flavor. And we're going to toss it around and get it all distributed. And looky there. See how pretty that dish is? You see in there? See this tomatoes and onions. Oh my gosh. Now, we're going to put this in the refrigerator and we're going to let it get nice and chilled. I know I told you I don't refrigerate my tomatoes, but I want that nice and cool. So let's put that up while we're over here. Do we have anything else that need to go in the fridge? I don't see anything. Okay, let's check our steak here. No, it won't be long. He'll be ready to turn over. Normally, it's 3 to 4 minutes on the side, but I'm cooking it a little bit lower. And I think our potatoes are going to be done. I'm going to call them done. And we're going to drain them right here. You can put them in a colander, or you can tip them like I'm doing. I just cock my lid like this. If you can see, I cock my lid like this and then pour it in the sink. Leave them in this hot pot that will absorb that liquid, the water that's in it. You don't want watery mashed potatoes. So let's do this. We're going to put the rest of that stick of butter in here. And my timer's going off. My timer, I was talking and didn't hear it. It's bubbling away, this casserole. But yeah, I'm going to leave it in here another 10 minutes. Like the recipe says. Okay, I'm going to stir my turnip greens again, and I think I'm actually going to turn them off this time. Oh, they're going to be so good. You can take that pot liquor, and that's just the juice, and pour it over your cornbread, dip your cornbread in it. Now, get out my mixer. I told y'all about getting Stephanie one of these. She was so happy. She just went nuts when she used mine for the first time. She didn't know I had it. And and y'all know what I've got this time? Buttermilk. Y'all know I use buttermilk, or I'll use sour cream. We're going to use buttermilk this time. And I just want to make sure you're seeing. But I've had a few tell me they can't see what I'm doing when I'm coming from this angle. But I'm going to be sure you can see. So try to scoot down a little bit. I'm going to try to move this skillet out of the way in a minute. Or move it over so you can see in it a little better. I'm sorry if it's noisy, but I'm turning that up. Oh my goodness. We're just going to pour a little bit. And this is low-fat buttermilk. And y'all know when you can find the full fat, the whole buttermilk, it's a lot thicker. So when you use it, it takes a little bit more. And this low fat, sometimes we have a hard time finding the whole buttermilk. I just want to make sure that I've got these good and creamy. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper in here. My mama used to put black pepper in our mashed potatoes. And we loved it. For ages, I didn't think Pop liked black pepper in it. And he says one day, he says, I like it. And I'm like, really? So I've started putting it in there. And it still makes good potato patties. Remember, I've told you to slowly bring your beaters up and you'll get most everything off of them. Y'all, that's so good. Where'd you put my lid? Here it is. And I'm going to set these back here on the stove to keep them warm. The vent on the back of my stove, the vent from my oven, comes out and right there, and I set stuff back there and it keeps it warm. We're going to put this up. We're going to put our buttermilk away. Yep, y'all hear me. Squeaking my tennis shoes. Come on now, quit turning down. I want you frying. I turned it down too far, I guess, y'all. It's going to be okay. We started them out at a good temperature. We'll start putting away stuff. And, I like to keep my scissors in a little scabbard because I don't want to stick myself. Oh, yeah. Look at here. See the color on that steak? You see the color on that steak? Isn't that beautiful? And don't mess with it because you don't want to cut that breading off. Break it off. Whatever I'm trying to say, y'all. We're going to have dinner here in just a few minutes. Because it's not going to take long to finish this up. I'm going to put this over here so I think you can see it a little better. Can you? Let me lay it right there for a minute. I need my knife back. I put it up. Okay. We're going to get this onion ready. This one's good now. And we'll have it ready so when we're ready to make our gravy, our onions are done. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put them over with this steak. And let them be cooking. I don't know that I'm going to use the whole thing. The whole onion. But we'll see. And I'm going to cut it this way instead of slices like this. More of a wedge. Watch the fingers. See, I'm cutting it more like that instead of a slice. So let's put them over in here. Yeah, I think just that half of one's going to be enough for us. And see, I kept my little bowl that I put onions in my refrigerator. I put them in this so it don't stink up my fridge. And it sits perfectly right there on my little shelf. Let me get my cloth. Y'all, I wipe down my board and my counter so much. I can't cook when things are messy. I want it clean. I want my kitchen clean. And I don't like it. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw this bag away. And see, look at all that we made today. And I'd be running back and forth to the trash can. And look here. One little bag. And I'm going to throw it in here. And we can take it all out to the trash can at one time. I'm going to put that back there. I'm going to move these onions out of the way. I'm going to move my recipe out of the way. I don't remember what I had that spoon for. Y'all give me a second. And let me get this done. I told you, I just can't. I can't stand it. How long have we been cooking, y'all? We've been cooking just over an hour. I hope y'all enjoy this long video. But I told you it's uncut. I'm not editing anything. I got thirsty. Okay, so let's see. I want to get us a plate. See, and that's something else. Well, I've got a minute. I go ahead and set out our plate and our silverware. He has a glass for tea. I don't drink a lot of tea, y'all. I do water most all the time. Let's see if that's ready to come up. Yes, that's ready to come up. So I do need a plate to put that on while we make our gravy. Look at the color on that. If I hadn't had that oil turned down too low, I thought I had it turned up, y'all. We would have already been done with this. Let's see, what do we need here? I need a wooden spoon. So I'm going to use this one. I don't want that much oil. So I am going to dip out some of that oil into, my timer's going off. Y'all give me a second. It's our casserole. Ooh, this looks good. Yeah. Look at there. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm going to set this back here so it'll be out of the way. We've still got, see here, my tennis shoe. Let's check our cornbread while we're back here. It still needs a few more minutes. So we're going to put that back in there so it can be cooking while we do our gravy. We don't need this much oil. So I'm going to dip out some of this oil. If you're not opposed to messing up dishes, you can put some of this in another skillet and make it. But I don't want to mess up. And I'm going to set it aside right here in case I decide I need a little bit more. And these onions are already starting to get tender. And there's little bits that come off of that steak, cube steak, in that oil. Okay, so here we go. Let's put a little bit of salt and pepper. We got to, not much, because remember we're using that same flour, but we haven't salted these onions. So let's get another spoon. These are all going in the dishwasher, y'all. And sprinkle it over there. Just turn this up. The rule of thumb, and I didn't measure the oil, is you want the same amount of oil to fat. So if you're using 2 tablespoons of fat, whichever it is, oil, lard, shortening, butter, you want 2 tablespoons of flour. So we're going to stir that around. Now stir your flour and let it cook a couple of minutes so you can get that raw flour taste out. And I'm going to set this up here. Yeah, I'm going to set that right there so you can look at it. You might want some. You want a bite of it? Oh, and they're tender, I can tell. Not mashing around on it. Ooh. I don't think we need any more of that oil, so I'm going to move that out of the way because I do not want to spill it, y'all. I'm going to let that cool, and then I'll dispose of it. We don't need any more of this flour, so I'm going to clear it out of the way. Now, I do not put these pans, my baking pans do not go in the dishwasher. I hand wash them. These wooden spoons don't go in the dishwasher. Plastic, stainless, those will. My knives will not. I had some beef broth left over from the other night. I forget what I was cooking now. And I didn't use much out of this carton, so I just put it in the refrigerator. And we're not going to let it go to waste. Oh, my goodness, y'all. See, the potatoes are done, the turnip greens are done, the onion casserole's done. We're finishing this up. I've got the eggs and tomatoes in the refrigerator. Cornbread's about to come out from being reheated. We've got dinner done. And it takes me longer, y'all, when I'm videoing, when I'm with you. I know this is over an hour long, and I hope you don't get bored and stop watching. But if you do, I understand. But as I said in the beginning, this is uncut. There will be no editing. What you see is what you see. If I make a mistake, you see the mistake. And I do what I can to correct it. And sometimes you don't see, on normal videos, you don't see the mistakes, then I have to start over. Y'all see some of the bloopers, though. Especially when Stephanie and I get tickled with each other. Yeah, I want you to go out and watch my friend Linda with Easy Cooking with Linda B. And she has a wonderful channel, and she is still fairly new getting her channel started. She's got, I think, right at 1,300 viewers, close to it. And we're trying to get her all built up. So if y'all will check her out and subscribe and share her channel. And she's in Connecticut. And she's just a lovely, lovely person. And her husband, Bob. Hey, Bob, if you're seeing this. He's her cameraman. And also, another channel is Pre-Tirement Days, Comfort Foods, and More. Pretirement. She says she's pre-retirement because she don't plan on retiring. She's always doing something. And her name is Betty. And she's always cooking something. So y'all check her out. And also my friend in California, Viola. And let me get my cornbread. Okay. And our cornbread's done. We're just going to sit this here right here. And anyway, as I was saying, it's Viola's Baked and Cooked Delights. Check her out because she has some very, very good recipes. And she's in California and she cooks like we do. And she has her little garden in the summertime. And she has fruit trees. And she cooks with it. She cooks from it. Yeah, I want to get a little spoon and check this gravy for seasoning. And another one I want you, we have She's like my sister from another mister, and that's Melanie in the kitchen with Mama Mel. She's in Tennessee. I got to meet her, and we had dinner together, her and her husband, Patrick, and they're lovely people. And another couple from the Smoky Mountains we got to meet up there is Christy and Brooks and Ramsey. They have Smoky Mountain Food and Fun, and now they've started another channel, a cooking channel, Ramsey Kitchen. So y'all go check them out. I'll try to link all of these, if I don't forget, in the description box. They're all great people. So we got to have lunch with Christy and Brooks. And he's funny, they both are. And when we had lunch, he just kept us rolling. And now and then you'll see they'll do live videos. She's the photographer, and she does a lot of the photography up there for the different cabins and such, and she is really wonderful. Okay, so I think we're done here. Yeah, I'm not saving that. That wasn't even a teaspoon. And we don't need this anymore. And y'all know what I didn't do? Makes my gravy so good. We do it now, it's not too late. I'm gonna put some brown gravy mix. Y'all, I couldn't find, I like the McCormick, and I get it in the big container, and I couldn't find it. I've got to get to Sam's or Costco, and that just deepens this gravy, but that's not everything we put in here. And if you've watched me long enough and seen me make gravy, you know what else I'm about to put in here. And that is some balsamic vinegar. Not much. Might have been 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's just enough. You don't want it to taste vinegary, but it gives it that little, what did you do? We're going to need a little bit more broth since I put that in there. I'm glad I put my apron on. I got me some new blouses, and Pop says, you better wear your apron. And he's right. Okay. Ooh-wee. All right, so I'm going to set that here. We're going to put this aside. We're done with it. Yeah, we're going to clean it up. We're about to eat. But I want to leave that there and let it simmer just a second since I put that in there. But we're going to taste it again. And I'm going to put that meat back in here. And we're going to let it cook in here just a minute while we gather everything together. Pull all our food together. Yeah, you see those little bits of that steak? It broke up in there. We'll do that. I'm not double dipping. That's perfect. The other was good, but now that's perfect. That is perfect. Okay, so let's slip our steaks back in here. We're gonna give Pop that big one. Okay. And now I do want it to turn down just a little bit. We're going to slide that down. Let's move this stuff. We're done with it. We're done with it. Okay, so I am going to start bringing over here. We're just going to eat what I call off the stove. Our onion casserole. We're We're going to move that. We will get that put in the refrigerator. Our potatoes. Look at there. Our potatoes will sit there right there. We're going to push this back. And I'll try to get everything where you can see it. Our turnip greens. Yeah, I might have to just take pictures. I'm going to take pictures anyway of some of this stuff so y'all can see it. And then you see down in that pot, our turnip greens. Get off there. And our cornbread. And I'm going to turn that cornbread out onto a little saucer. This is like saucer I was talking about my mama used to beat her meat with. And she'd beat that steak up. So good. Now, and y'all, I know it goes around whether you can or cannot wash cast iron. You can. Just make sure you dry it real good. I put it on the stove and then I wipe it down with some oil. So, you know what I want to do? Since that's a big pot, you'll be all right there. I'm going to move this up so I don't have to reach over that big pot. Now, I need some serving spoons, don't I? I need a spoon for this. I've got a spoon for our potatoes. I want a big spoon for our turnip greens. And a spoon for our cube steak. And here we go. Because that's not a dipping spoon. Let's turn this off. And I'm going to go see if Pop is ready to come in and eat. I'm going to wash that, rinse, my granny would say, rinse it off. Rinse that wooden spoon off. Move some of this stuff. We'll get it out of our way. While we've got time, because I'm still pulling things together, right? Let's don't forget these deviled eggs and our beautiful tomatoes and onions. Yeah, we have an amazing spread here. And I have got to get my camera and take some pictures for y'all. Y'all just gonna have to bear with me. You're just gonna have to bear with me because this is what I like to do. And that way I can have some beautiful pictures for you. Oh, wow. My goodness, guys. And I love olives. I always have olives with my meal. And I just love it. Oh, I need a spoon for the eggs, don't I? I guess we could pick them up with our fingers or a fork. Let's taste this onion casserole before I let you go. And then me and Pop are going to fix our plate. And I'm going to take you a picture of our plate. Oh, it looks and smells so good. Yeah. Those onions are so tender, but yet they still got just that little bit of crispness. Now, if you wanted to, you could cook them down a little more. but I didn't want to. That's perfect. And cooking them down like I did, and how we cooked it in the oven, kind of, and having the sour cream, and we put that dollop of mayonnaise, that's okay, and the cheese in it, kind of takes that bite out of the onion. And so I'm glad we made this. I've been wanting to try it, so I'm glad I tried it with you. All right, I certainly appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you'll come back and visit me again, because I so love having every one of you with you. I wish I had you sitting right here at the bar with me. I'd have you a cup of coffee or a nice tall glass of sweet tea, and we could talk and have a good visit while I cooked. But maybe one day, y'all think about it. I've been thinking about doing something, having a cook along, and y'all think about it and let me know what you think about it and what would be a good dish to have a cook along, okay? Something we could all cook together easily on camera. Anyway, y'all please like, share with your friends, share with your families, and I certainly appreciate it. And subscribe to my channel, please. And don't forget, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I put up another video. And Stephanie and I are soon going to start this week. We're going to do some recipes for Mardi Gras coming up. So then we'll have St. Patrick's Day. I love that. Anyway, y'all please come back and visit with me, and I'll see y'all very soon. Bye, everybody.